I thought I knew who Elvis Presley was as an actor until I watched him in King Creole and I realised that we've been telling the wrong story about him as an actor. Because there's a moment in this film where he walks into a room and suddenly you understand something that no one else really talks about. Elvis Presley could act, and not just a little, he could really act. Before I get into that, I want to kind of explain a little bit about me and why I can kind of talk about acting because, hello, my name is Cassidy Krieger. I'm the founder of Hollywoodland Photos, which is a platform dedicated to everything classic Hollywood from the 1920s, 30s, down to the 1960s, 70s. I love film, but first and foremost, I'm an actor. My first love was acting. I've been acting since I was 6 years old. I've been training sincerely non-stop since I was 13, so I understand acting. I know what it takes to be a good actor and I know how hard it is. So I came into this film with the understanding of who Elvis was as an icon, but not an understanding of who he was as an actor, and I left with a deeper respect for who he was in general after watching this film. Because I came into this film knowing that it was considered Elvis's best. I knew the critical consensus, I knew the history, but knowing something and actually experiencing it are two very, very different things, as we all know. But what I was not prepared for was how much this film would make me grieve. It's what the film represents and what came after. So King Creole was released in 1958 and directed by Michael Curtiz, the man behind Casablanca, one of the greatest films of all time, and Mildred Pierce. And it was made right before Elvis shipped out for his military service. It's set in the French Quarter of New Orleans, it's gritty, it's alive, and it's categorically unlike anything else in Elvis's filmography. Let's talk about why. The first thing that hit me when I watched this movie was how relaxed Elvis appeared on screen. I don't mean relaxed in a passive or disengaged way, I mean relaxed in the way that only genuinely gifted performers are, where there's no visible effort, no self-consciousness, no sense of someone acting, putting on a facade. He just inhabits the character of Danny Fisher. He simply is just there. A lot of actors with his level of fame and relative inexperience at acting at this point in his career would be visibly trying. You'd see the performance happening, but with Elvis in this film, you don't. He had the rarest of qualities, an instinctive screen presence that can't ever be taught. I think what makes it so convincing is that this film, more than almost any other in his catalogue, felt like he had real emotional material to draw from. Danny Fisher is a kid from nothing. He's got pride and anger and hunger and tenderness all fighting each other at once. And that is not a stretch for Elvis Aaron Presley from Tupelo, Mississippi. He was using his own upbringing, being dirt poor, being an outsider, having something burning in him that the world hadn't made room for yet. You can feel it in every single scene. I say this as an actor who has trained for decades. Yes, decades. Those years creep up, don't they, very quickly. What he's doing in this film is actually really, really difficult. The first thing I noticed was his stillness and how comfortable he is in his body in front of the camera, especially so young. That sounds really simple, but it isn't. Most actors, especially that early on, are trying to show you the emotion. Because they understand that emotions are felt in the body and they can be felt across the screen. He isn't trying to show you any emotion. It's just in him. He's not waiting for the next line. He's present. He's listening. That's the hardest part to do as an actor, is listen and then react. And that's the difference. That's usually where performances fall apart. His doesn't. King Creole feels like the most realistic out of Elvis's films, and that's not an accident. Michael Curtiz was a serious filmmaker who made really serious films. He didn't treat Elvis like a jukebox with a face. He treated him like an actor, which, as it turns out, is exactly what Elvis was. The New Orleans location and backdrop gives the film a texture and weight that the sunny, breezy films that he was handed after his military service simply just don't have. It feels like a place, not a set, not a Hollywood soundstage, and that groundedness pulls Elvis's performance with it. It also belongs to a very specific cultural moment in American cinema. The mid-1950s produced a genuine appetite for a new kind of male screen presence, brooding, wounded, dangerous, but feeling. Think James Dean, Marlon Brando, Montgomery Clift. That rebel with something underneath archetype that a generation of young people responded to viscerally because it named something they couldn't quite articulate. King Creole is absolutely of that tradition. And here's a detail that makes it even more poignant. So the film was originally made and developed for James Dean, but when James Dean died very young, very unexpectedly, in 1955, the project found its way to Elvis. And watching it, knowing that, you feel the weight of two truncated trajectories at once. So this is where I need to sit with you for a minute, because King Creole broke my heart, not while I was watching it, but while I was thinking about what came after for Elvis. Elvis had everything here. The raw material was extraordinary, not just the talent, but the range of the talent. This film proves he could have been a serious dramatic actor like he wanted. The voice, of course, was once in a generation. The charisma was off any known scale. And there's a version of his life in which this film was the beginning of something, not the peak of it. He became one of the most famous people who ever lived while being profoundly caged. The army took him away at exactly the wrong moment, when he had momentum, credibility, and a director like Curtiz behind him willing to take him seriously. And when he came back, Colonel Parker steered him toward product. Easy money, formula. The films got glossier and emptier. The serious dramatic career just evaporated. The 1968 comeback special gave us a little glimpse of it. That raw, unvarnished, this is who I actually am, breaking through after years of suppression. But even that didn't last. And Elvis was an icon despite the constraints placed on him. And I've been doing a lot of research about Marilyn Monroe in the lead up to her 100th birthday in a couple of weeks. And I just can't help but compare these two icons who were both incredibly talented, but never taken seriously enough. And if they'd been given their chances, if they'd been given proper material to work with, if they'd been given people around them that wanted to help them instead of hinder them, I wonder what could have been for the both of them. I started watching this film as a fan, and as a film person that really should have watched this film many, many years ago. I finished it as someone who had to sit down quietly for a little while and think about what a waste of talent Elvis Presley had as an actor. King Creole is not just Elvis Presley's best film. It is a document of an artist at the exact moment he was about to be redirected away from his own potential. That lands. That really lands. Watch this film knowing that, and it becomes something richer and sadder and more essential. The last glimpse of an uncaged version of Elvis Presley. Watch it if you haven't, and if you have, watch it again. You will not be disappointed by this incredible piece of art from Elvis Aaron Presley. And a quick side note, if you've been watching these videos of mine and want to support my work beyond Hollywood history and film analysis, I'd love for you to check out my own original film project, Love in the Moonlight. It's a romantic ghost story inspired by the sweeping emotion and old Hollywood atmosphere of films like The Ghost of Mrs. Muir, and the 3-minute proof of concept screener stars me. I wrote it, I produced it, I'm starring in it, alongside Australian acting legend Matty Wilson. We created it independently as an opening scene for a feature film that we are currently developing. The response to this screener has honestly meant the world to us, and every view, comment, share, support genuinely helps us as we keep building this into a feature film. We're doing it all on our own, all independently. So if you love classic cinema, yearning romances, haunted mansions and stories that feel a little bit timeless, I think you might really connect with Love in the Moonlight. You can watch Love in the Moonlight via the link below or the link I post, just anywhere. And if you can please like it, share it, watch it, it would mean the absolute world to us. And I can't wait to bring you on this journey of making our own old Hollywood film. It's just been, so far it's been incredible. I can't wait to keep doing it. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me prattle on about Elvis for the past couple of videos. I've still got so much to explore and discover and keep finding out. And I'm going to be talking a lot more about Marilyn Monroe in the next couple of weeks as well, as we lead up to her 100th birthday. And thank you so much. I am so honoured that you're here.